In our last class, we looked at a theoretical framework. Today, we are looking at research methodology, which often is chapter 3 in most theses, both PhD and MSc master students. And if you're not working on thesis, research methodology is also part of it cuts across in every research, particularly in the development, some of us who are in the development sector. So research methodology is so central because it addresses the research design, which is how to do. And how to do is just simply a plan or plans that allow the researcher to address the research objective. That's just what research design is. So research design, in your research design, one is expected to know, or you are expected to know, your target population, your sample size, and even the organization of data, how your data is going to be organized, and also the appropriate data analysis too. So these are some of the things you are supposed to know in your address in your research design. So people get to understand this is the way, these are some of the things you want to do, and these are the processes you are going to follow to address the research objective. Basically, research design it's just how to do. There's no rule in research design. There's no uniform rule or restricted rule in your research design. Your research design is often determined by the kind of research you're doing and your research objective. So your type of research and your research design often determine the kind of research design you're going to come up with, so long as that is going to address the research objective. So parts are beyond the research design. Some of the things are part of this, the issues we are going to look at in the research methodology. We are going to look at research population, sampling, research sample size, and sampling technique. One is that I would really like to take my time to explain. I am saying that your study population, it's not about census figure. That's not your study population. Your study population are objects, individuals, things that are interest to the researcher. Those are your study population. And I said, if I am undertaking a research, for instance, the role of indigenous knowledge and communication strategy in climate change mitigation and adaptation among rural farmers in FCT, my study population, it's not talking about census figure in Abuja, saying that Abuja has 1 million, 2 million, 3 million estimated to be so and so population. That's not my study population. My study population are rural farmers who are living in farming communities in Abuja. This is my study population, not talking about the census figure in Abuja. So we need to get that very, very, very clear. So after your study population, what do? You go for sample size. Because in this study, although Abuja rural farmers are my study population, now I cannot study all the rural farmers in FCT. Now, what do? I need to identify, I need to find out, I need to randomly or purposely choose the farmers that I will study, the farmers that will take part in the study as active participants that are going to serve as samples for the study. So those are my study sample. So that number of farmers, maybe 10, 20, 15, 30, 100, that forms my study population. Now, sorry, that forms my study sample, because it is from your study population that you get your study sample. So now that my study population are rural farmers in FCT, that's my study population. It is after the rural farmers in FCT that I get my study sample. So now, who are my study sample? I will determine my study sample through sampling techniques. It's through sampling technique that I will be able to properly identify my study sample. Now, let's look at sampling technique. Using the role of indigenous language and communication strategies for climate change mitigation and adaptation among rural farmers. Let's use this example and demonstrate how sampling technique is handled. One, when I am doing this kind of research and I come to sample, what do? I am going to use multi-stage sampling technique. And when I use multi-stage sampling technique, I am just going to do simple thing. Stage 1. 2 area councils in Abuja will be properly selected for this research, which are Kuje and Gwagwalada Area Council. Simple. That's stage 1. 2 area councils purposely selected. 2 area councils selected for this study, which are Gwagwalada and Kuje area councils in FCT. Done. Stage 1. Stage 2. 3 communities randomly selected in each of the area councils. Stage 2. 3 communities randomly selected from each of the area councils, making a total of 6 communities. Simple. So you now see that the study population is FCT, the study population is Abuja rural farmers. We have left study population, we have narrowed it to 2 area councils, which is Gwagwalada and Kuje. After that, we have now narrowed it to 6 communities, 3 from each of the area councils, making it 6 communities. Simple. Then the next stage, you say that, let's take for instance that 20 farmers will be selected. 20 farmers will be selected from each of the 6 communities. That is to say that in each area council, we are going to have 60 farmers. So in overall, we are going to have 120 farmers. These 120 farmers are the study sample. Simple. Simple. This is how it is. You move from research population, study population, you move to sample, and you move to sampling technique. So research methodology, you don't need to be speaking plenty grammar. Straight to what you want to do. Simple, 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 simple. You pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it. But it is not every research that you do multi-stage sampling. Your sampling techniques, even your study population, your sampling technique is primarily determined by your study objective. It is not every research, every study that you say, Liberty said we should use multi-stage sampling. No. But I just use it as an example to explain to you how to go about research sampling technique. Because the problem is, many students, many researchers run into problem because of bad research instruments. Research is like fixing a car. If you are to remove a tire from the car and you've gone to bring spawner that you use in removing the engine, you are not going to remove that tire. And at the process of forcing that tire, you may even damage the wheel, or you may damage the rim. That's what research is. So you need to carefully select, research instruments that are suitable to your research objective. And when you do that, you don't need to struggle much. You don't need to struggle much. Then you are able to address your research. Next week, I'll be discussing method of data collection and technique for data analysis. So when we finish, then we'll move to another thing. But today, I just decided to start research methodology. Thank you, and I hope after this class, I will also be putting this video on my YouTube handle, which is at Mawa FD. That's where you will find the video. If you like the video, you watch the video, you can follow me. Have a great day and see you next week.